Okay, hi everyone. I will just actually change the camera for a second. Hi. Okay, now everyone can see me. I was a bit further away earlier on. Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar on CDP-ICLEI Track. My name is Yasmina and I work for ICLEI Europe. I sit in the Green Digital Transformation team where I work on climate monitoring, MRV-related kind of tasks, and also on smart city-related projects. With me, I have lots of experts here related to CDP-ICLEI Track, both from the city perspective as well as from CDP and from ICLEI's side. So I'm excited to, excited to get this webinar going, and hopefully you'll find it helpful, especially if you're considering to report on CDP-ICLEI Track, or if you've never heard about it and you're just interested to know more about it. I'll hand over to my colleague Alice Daniela, who will give us a brief introduction, and then we'll start the presentation. Do you want to do your camera?
Okay, so thank you very much for connecting. Welcome to this ICLEI webinar. This is effort together with our partner CDP and our member cities to bring insights about the CDP-ICLEI Track, which is one of our tools that helps cities advancing in their climate and environmental journey. So today we are a group of people that will be presenting today. On the ICLEI side, it's Jasmina that you have heard before, and myself in the Green and Digital Transformation team of ICLEI. We also have Sumbal from our ICLEI World Secretariat Office, which are in charge of the global partnership with CDP. We have CDP, Etienne, thank you very much for joining. He's the Associate Director of Cities and Regions at CDP and our main contact for CDP-ICLEI Track in Europe. Then the most special guests that we have today are our cities. We have Montserrat Hernandez and Maria Luisa Campillos from the city of Zaragoza in Spain. Thank you very much for joining us and for sharing your experience with our cities. And we also would like to welcome and thank Francisco Carvalho from Guimarães in Portugal, the General Coordinator of the Research and Innovation Laboratorio in the city. So thank you very much for all being here. So we would like also to tell you that the agenda for today, we will start with a short welcome on my side. Then Jasmine and Sumbal will share some insights about the benefits and the different projects related to our work with the CDP-ICLEI Track and the data that we have. Then Etienne will give you an overview of the CDP-ICLEI Track. We will be seeing from hands-on experience also. We will see how to fill the questionnaire. Etienne will also do a demo. So we will have the opportunity to see live how our CDP-ICLEI Track works. And then we will have a contribution for our two cities on the perspectives and their learnings and experiences in using the CDP-ICLEI Track use. At the end, and this is for us also the most important, we ask you to be patient until the end. We will have a moment for questions on you. This is for us the most important part. Please also, if you have any questions, please post that in the chat. Myself and my colleague Lara, also that is connected from our comms team, we will be tracking all your questions and providing all the answers that you might need. So with that said, I think that we can start. Just another thing for you to know before we start is that we are recording this session. So for the ones that would not like to be showcased, please turn off your video. But if not, just to let you know that this will be, of course, shared with our ICLEI members that could not connect today, but it's mainly for internal purposes. So with that said, and to start this webinar, so just to let you know that the CDP-ICLEI Track, it's a long story in the last few years. So we started as the ICLEI in this collaboration with CDP all more than 7 years ago, when our ICLEI World Secretariat globally, we decided to build a partnership together with CDP, joining the experience of ICLEI, a carbon climate register with information and data from a lot of cities worldwide, and CDP as the expert organization on climate reporting worldwide. We decided to do this partnership in 2019 already. In that time, it was called the CDP-ICLEI Unified Reporting System. We did that a long time ago. Specifically for Europe in 2020, due to the nature of the European policy context, CDP and ICLEI Europe decided to also work closely together to bring the reporting platform to our European cities, of course, the ICLEI members, but also all the cities that are using or are working on reporting processes in all Europe. Then, after a long journey, also in 2022, just to let you know that the global reporting tool was consolidated globally and also in Europe. CDP-ICLEI Track is the leading global reporting platform for cities, towns, and regions on a global level. And in Europe, this is important for you to know that CDP-ICLEI Track is one of the 2 official reporting platforms for cities in our territory. The other platform is My Covenant. Some of you might be familiar with it, but CDP-ICLEI Track is the official, one of the 2 official reporting platforms. So cities can report on it without hesitation. And in 2022 also, we changed the name. So now it's our CDP-ICLEI Track. That is the name of our tool. And since then, until now, we have been working closely with CDP and our World Secretariat to bring the tool and the data for our cities. So that's also to see also to share with you the nature of this collaboration. On the one side, CDP-ICLEI Track is the tool, which is the basic block of this cooperation between CDP and ICLEI. CDP, they are experts in tools, in reporting tools, reporting platforms. They are also expert on content on global reporting issues. And ICLEI, we bring the expertise on local and regional governments reality. This work is coordinated, as I said before, with our ICLEI World Secretariat. Sumbal is here also. But in Europe, we have also a dedicated team working in that. That is me, Jasmina, and other people from our team working on that. So with that said, I will also to give you some numbers here. So just to let you know that in ICLEI Europe, we have around 220 local and regional authorities that are part of our network. We also have associate members in ICLEI. And in 2024, 59 of our members reported in the CDP-ICLEI Track cycle. And 22 of our members made it to the CDP 8 list. Other members also got high scores, A minus, and other scores, but all our members have been very well situated in the CDP A list. But remember that we don't see the CDP-ICLEI Track as a tool for just being in a list. This is more a tool for advancing in your climate and environmental action journey. So with that said, I would like to give the floor to my colleague Jasmina so she can share with you a little more. What do we do with the data that we get from the CDP-ICLEI Track data, and how we are benefiting our ICLEI members? So Jasmina and Sumbal, please.
Great, thank you so much, Daniela. Daniela just gave us a bit of an overview of kind of the story of CDP-ICLEI Track. What I'd like to do now, before we go into the nuts and bolts of CDP-ICLEI Track, which Etienne will present, just highlight some of the benefits for especially for our members, but also I think more broadly for cities. Why it is beneficial to report on CDP-ICLEI Track. Now, the first benefit that I'd like to highlight is really around knowledge creation. So by completing the CDP-ICLEI Track, cities are really providing us, or providing in general, a whole range of data related to climate action, the targets that they're setting, We also can identify kind of data that is missing, and we can really use this information to kind of foster capacity and knowledge creation, both within the municipality and also outside of that. So kind of also looking beyond that. And an example that I'd like to share today on that is related to case studies that we did in collaboration with Google EIE, where CDP-ICLEI Track data was really part of the backbone of the analysis. And what we tried to do is, or what we did do was a set of case studies to basically understand how Google EIE data can support cities in achieving their kind of climate targets and climate action. And the Google EIE data, for those of you who aren't familiar with that data, it is basically greenhouse gas emissions data in a whole range of sectors, but the ones that we were focusing on was building and transportation. And so what we did is, through the CDP-ICLEI Track data, we were able to benchmark and compare, the different emissions data in the building and transport sector. We were also able to compare different methodologies that were used for that, and we were also able to identify gaps from the CDP-ICLEI Track data that maybe cities had. So, for example, gaps with data that they had, where Google EIE data may be able to complement that. To complement that, to enhance their emissions calculations. And as a result of this project, during this project, we engaged with over 50 cities. As a result of it, we were able to do a methodological assessment on transportation data, and we published 15 case studies that are available online. So we can also share the links after this presentation. But yeah, they're available online, so you can kind of get a better idea of the type of work that we were doing. But really what I want to highlight here is that through this knowledge creation, we can, through cities reporting on CDP-ICLEI Track, we can kind of foster developing capacity, either through joint events or through research activities. And this is just one example that we did recently. Now, a second benefit that we can get from leveraging the CDP-ICLEI Track data is on developing new projects, writing proposals, strengthening existing projects. And so I'm sure actually now what comes to mind for me, at least, is September is the month for all the Horizon calls deadlines. So probably proposal is on the forefront of many of your minds actually right now. But yeah, a project example that I'd like to share here is one that we did together with EBRD. It was funded together with EBRD and the city of Warsaw, where we assessed the city of Warsaw's we assessed their climate risks and their opportunities. And the aim of the project was also to improve their climate governance and reporting and their disclosure. And again, CDP-ICLEI Track data was the backbone for this analysis, because through this data, we were able to do this analysis. So without it, we wouldn't, would have been much more challenging. So we were not only able to identify the climate risks and the opportunities, but also identify improvement strategies for risk management, and also identifying kind of gaps in their reporting. And this led actually to the city of Warsaw being an A-list city in 2024. So they've managed to really improve their reporting and the transparency of their programs. And yeah, this was the first of this kind of project, and was part of the EBRD Green Cities program. And so together with ICLEI, we can apply for funding and we can enhance proposals using the CDP-ICLEI Track data, but we can also, exploit the data on existing projects, whether that is identifying certain approaches or certain sectors or certain areas where maybe the project should steer the direction into. And so these are some of the key benefits. This is the second kind of key benefit that we see in working together on this data. Now, the final benefit that I'd like to highlight is really about engagement. And so there's one thing that I'd like to say up front is that, we can, as ICLEI Europe, support you with your reporting on CDP-ICLEI Track, be it through webinars like this one today, or through kind of one-to-one engagement. There are a whole range of different ways that we can support you on your reporting journey, basically. But it is an opportunity for us for there to be kind of a mutual engagement. On the one hand, you can also provide feedback on the questionnaire, for example, which we can then see about how to incorporate some such feedback into the CDP-ICLEI Track questionnaire. But yeah, you can also engage with a whole range of initiatives through the CDP-ICLEI Track. And so these are the ones that are highlighted here in the table on the right. Some of these are led by ICLEI, some of these ICLEI are partners on. Some of them are just for the EU, whereas others are global. The ones highlighted in bold, my colleague Sumbal from the World Secretariat will speak about in a minute. But this is just to highlight that you have this option when you report on CDP-ICLEI Track to opt into these programs. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're part of the program straight away, but it does mean that you will be able to get more information and can have a direct point of contact within the program. So these are kind of the three key benefits that I wanted to highlight just before we get into more details on the actual reporting and the mechanisms of how we report on CDP-ICLEI Track. My colleague Sumbal will now speak a bit about some of the key programs that you can opt into when you do your CDP-ICLEI Track reporting.
Thank you so much, Yasmina, for the overview on the benefits of the CDP-ICLEI Track data. And hello, everyone. My name is Sumbal. I'm part of the climate action team at ICLEI World Secretariat and also the main point of contact for CDP-ICLEI Track and everything related to its data at the World Secretariat. And I'm very happy to have the space today to briefly introduce some of ICLEI's initiatives that members have the option to opt into when reporting to CDP-ICLEI Track. So I'll start with the Green Climate Cities, which is ICLEI's global climate impact program and supports our network of over 2,500 local and regional governments so that they can achieve climate neutrality by 2040. And I would also like to mention that if you are part of the ICLEI network, you are automatically in the GCC program, as we assume that you are addressing climate change, which is a core component of sustainable development. So this program basically follows three structured phases called Analyze, Act, and Accelerate, and they provide practical steps to embed climate planning and actions across many different policies and plans. And some of the key features in this program also include receiving support when identifying finance and investment needs for your projects, multi-level governance and partnerships, and also the MRV framework, which helps to build accountability and transparency. So if you need specific support, please let us know, and you can explore more on our website or use the contact information to reach us. Next slide, please. So with these next three initiatives, you specifically have the option to opt in. First, we have the Transformative Actions Program, or TAP, which is our flagship initiative and was launched in 2015, and it just celebrated its 10-year milestone. So TAP basically supports subnational governments in identifying their investment needs and then accessing finance for sustainable development. And they help projects by offering technical guidance and connecting them to project preparation facilities and financiers as well. And they have more than 500 project proposals that have been submitted to the annual TAP calls and have built a portfolio valued at around 1.6 billion euros and have over 90 projects currently active globally. And of course, for more information, case studies, tools, you can visit the website link or also use the QR code that is on this slide. Next slide. Then we move towards 100% renewables for cities and regions. This initiative basically supports the renewable energy transition through two pathways. So for cities that are interested in setting targets early in their journey, they can join the network. And for those who already have a plan or are a bit more advanced or interested in implementation, there's the option to join Energy Compact. And for both the options, support is provided through technical guidance, there's capacity building, networking, and many other learning opportunities. So we really encourage you to report your sustainable energy activities to the CDP-ICLEI track, and you are welcome to learn more about this initiative on the given link as well. And then lastly, we have the Eco-Mobility Alliance, which is a global network of cities that are committed to sustainable transport initiatives. And since 2011, they have promoted environmentally friendly mobility solutions. And through this alliance, basically, they bring together 23 cities worldwide and have over 30 projects, and it's supported by 29 partners. And as well, in this initiative, they offer peer-to-peer learning, assessment tools, different events that allow cities to test and promote these real solutions. And yes, so to learn more about this alliance, please visit the link provided. This was a quick overview of the initiative. There's a lot more to them. So if you're interested in any of them, please do reach out to ICLEI, and I'm happy to hand it over to Etienne.
Europe.
Great.
Oh, thank you. So I think that's the that's the part where I begin sharing my screen. Give me a second.
So yeah, Etienne will talk us a little bit through the nuts and bolts. Now we've kind of answered the question on why you should be reporting. Here's a bit more information on why, but also how. So I'll hand over to you, Etienne.
Exactly. Yeah. Hi. So I'm Etienne, Associate Director at CDP. In the next slides, I will not only cover the how, but also the why. Why report to CDP, how to report to CDP clearly will be the core part of my presentation. What to report to CDP and when to report might also be other question we will cover. So before we do that, brief words about CDP. So we are a non-profit association, non-profit organization, not associations. Actually, this is important. We don't have members. We don't have cities as members, but we have users. So what type of users? We have about, you see 24,000 companies reporting to CDP every year, but also about 1,000 cities, states, and regions. And we call it disclosure. So disclosure is the key word we use as a proxy for reporting your climate and environmental data. So it's an NGO that exists since 2000, whose focus is on climate transparency, as you understand. And these disclosure, which are annual cycles, help us retrieve and surface data. So just like this one, for example, from last year, across all the European and global cities that responded to the questionnaire last year, you see we can see that a good number, let's say 87% of the European cities, states, and regions, not only the ICLEI member, all respondents in Europe have a climate action plan in place. So it's not yet 100%. Of course, that's the ultimate goal, but we are on the way to that. And as Daniela explained, the partnership with ICLEI has started actually in 2018. And still continues, of course. But I think it's important for you as a city to understand that you may be part of other or plenty of initiatives or associations, networks, and you see some of them on this screen. And it's important for CDP to not add reporting burden on you by creating new reporting, let's say, streams, but to mainstream all of the existing or maximum of the existing reporting streams that you are charged with. So, for example, if you are also a net zero cities, a mission city from the EU cities mission, you can, since 2023, report through CDP-ICLEI Track. So that's why we try to achieve. And indeed, it works because not only those partners receive the data as let's say a one-stop shop, but also cities and regions are, I say, enticed to report. So last year, 81% of city states and regions across the world were actually not only responding to CDP. And that was not their main goal. We understood that. It was reporting to those third parties, including ICLEI and others, because that's where they get their benefit, their members' benefit. But what are the CDP benefit? Because there are some still. I think that covers pretty much what Yasmin already told. So like the first one is measure and monitor your own climate data in order to improve your sustainability performance, just simply said. So you can't manage what you don't measure is usually the motto we go by at CDP. That's very true for cities as well. Then once you have this data, your knowledge, this insight, you can also, we will share it for you. We will share it with the financial sector. So this financial sector might be, is interested in a potential investment in municipalities in Europe and elsewhere. And they need therefore some data. And that's also one of the goals of the climate, of the cities questionnaire that we propose on CDP-ICLEI Track. And there is also the A list. So there is a score. True. I will also speak a bit about that. But it's not the only purpose. There will be also data shared with, let's say, government and other non-profit organizations whose goal is to surface knowledge in order to influence the decision-making, the global decision-making. So clearly CDP's data, so the data collected from cities, states, and regions on CDP-ICLEI Track is also shared at COP at the UNFCCC, on the portal of the UNFCCC in order to maximize the decision-making. Some key features of the portal itself. So the name of the portal is CDP-ICLEI Track. So that's the name of the portal. So this portal is global. So it's universal in a way. It's accessible from anywhere in the world, and especially if you are a city. Any type of cities, by the way. You can be a town, or city, or a larger city. You can even be a metropolitan municipalities. It works well. So a grouping of municipalities. You can even be a sub-municipality entity, like, for example, a district. It's rare, but we accept that. So you see, you can be, any type of this municipality. We are very much welcoming. It's free of charge. Of course, we have to remind that for sure. It's aligned with international standards and framework. I will say a word about that in a minute. You will get a score, a CDP score, if you submit every year before the so-called scoring deadline. And this year, in 2025, the scoring deadline is in 6 days, actually. So it's on the 17th of September. But no worries, if you don't manage to submit by that time, you will still be able to submit in 2025 and get all the ICLEI benefit or some CDP benefit nonetheless, because the portals remain open until mid-November. Right, so if you have already responded in the past to the CDP questionnaire on CDP-ICLEI Track, you will be able to find your previous data. That's the so-called copy forward functionality. That's very practical if you want to minimize your reporting time and if you already have some data on the system. And then you only have to just submit again or amend your submissions for new data points or complete, and then it's quickly done. So here's the principle of the score. As I said, it might not be your priority today if you join this call because you only have 6 days to submit. But next year, for example, if you are motivated, you may aim for the best score, the A list, and this score will all of them be confidential, private, so only you will know unless you land on the A list. So unless you get an A, so only the A will then be public and published in the media quite widely and globally, because we assume that you will be proud of it. So it's not a name and shame approach, definitely not. So if you have less than A, we will not publish this score anywhere. Another benefit that CDP will deliver is if you want to know if your emission reduction target is aligned with the science, as we say, so which means is aligned with the goals of the Paris Agreement, more specifically talking, like aligned with the 1.5. That's what we call a science-based climate target. So or SBT. So if you want to know if your target is SBT, just complete it in the questionnaire, and our experts will analyze it and give you a feedback. Is that aligned? Is that partly aligned? Or is that not aligned? And so like I presented in this timeline of partnership, we are now today aligned with many frameworks and initiatives. So some of them use the data. So all of them use the data, but some of them are so-called requesters. That means that you will see their names before you open the questionnaire. And I will show you that on the portal very soon. And ICLEI is one of them, of course. One last benefit. So to conclude the why, disclose why report to CDP from a CDP point of view, not ICLEI. It's important to specify. Yeah, this is this question 9.3. So in the question 9.3 of the questionnaire, you will be able to declare, if you want, this is all voluntary, if you have some investment projects, climate investment project, for example, sustainable infrastructure project, but also nature-based solutions project, for which you are still looking for finance or, yeah, for money. And then if it's the case, then, yeah, and if you describe what the project is about, for example, its total amount, etc., the benefits, returns, then this information will be shared with potential investors. This is important to notice that there is a logo here on the slide before, TCFD. That means that your response will be aligned with the so-called TCFD standard, which is the Task Force on Financial Disclosure. That means your response is investor friendly. So any investors out there in the world know what's TCFD, and they know how to expect, let's say, a city response, how it should be designed. It should follow a strict, let's say, standard. And precisely the questionnaire is aligned with this standard. So that brings me to the questionnaire. And it's not yet the demo. Before we do the demo of the portal, want to show you what is in the questionnaire. So we cover almost all, if not all, environmental topics. The questionnaire is not organized by topics, however. It is TCFD aligned, so it is organized in a more logical or even chronological way. So you see there will be a first section in the questionnaire called governance. And that's where, for example, you will describe what is your city, so some social demographic data, but not only. How do you manage climate and environment in your municipality? This is the type of question we ask. Then there will be the assessment part. So starting with the climate risk and vulnerability assessment. So we will ask you if your city has started or have such a document in place or today. If it's not the case, no worries. the questionnaire is not, again, a blame and shame, a name and shame approach. We just accept, no, we don't have a climate risk and vulnerability assessment in place yet. We don't judge, but ICLEI might be here in support if you need precisely support to draft a CRVM. Same with your emission inventory. If you don't have one, or if it's outdated, if you only do scope 1, not scope 3 yet, for example, again, we don't judge, we just accept your response, and ICLEI will be able to support you. So that's the assessment part. So that's like today, your status as is today. And then there is the target part. So have you formulated adaptation target, adaptation goals? Yes. Which ones? That's the part where you can report on them. Then there will be the emission reduction target, including your net zero, potentially net zero emission target. And that's where we will assess if it's SBT aligned or not, for example. But you may also have other sector-specific targets, for example, in nature and biodiversity, in mobility, sustainable mobility, for example, not related to the other targets and goals. So here you can declare all the other targets. And then we move to the planning section, very important one, where you can declare and describe, by and large, your current climate action plans. Once again, if you don't have one yet, it's not a problem. It's a journey. And then finally, the action. So you see, it's really chronological and logical. And potentially you will here populate the adaptation actions and mitigation action section with what you have in this plan, just above. And then you can declare as many actions as you want. There is no limit. You can declare 1, 2, 10, 100 actions. The more you do, the better it is, of course. There is no limit to the top. And the last section is about finance. So we will invite you to declare those projects I just mentioned for which you are seeking money and support. So that's the questionnaire in theory. Now, how it is presented, it's quite similar. It's a bit small, I recognize, but no worries. We will show you that in a minute. So on the portal, you will find again those sections, just like I've described them. Before I show you the portal as a demo, a few slides about the onboarding process. So I think the first question I need to ask you, but don't respond, is do you already receive the CDP's invitation and reminder mailer? So all our communication goes by or through email. So here it's a yes/no question. If you have never received a CDP invitation email, then you should, that's our recommendation. You can also contact Yaspina and the rest of the ICLEI team, but you can also go to this page, register to disclose page, where we will connect you as a user with an account, so with a city, a municipality account. If you already received the invitation, you are in the yes part. The next question is, are you already a portal user? So specifically the CDP-ICLEI portal, track portal. If it's no, then normally you should just follow the link or the instruction providing in the email. Again, if you don't know when you last received an email, or if you're not sure, just send us either to ICLEI or to CDP. You have here the email address where you can contact us. And if you are already a portal user, then you are good to go. You know the link, it's myportal.cdp.net, and you should be able to log in there. For people who may accidentally land on this portal, although they are not yet a user, you will see there is a word that says not CDP user, register. Here I have to warn you, don't do that. Don't register as a new user from this page, because our system will not recognize you as a city. It will just recognize you as a random user. So it will take us time to associate you with a city account. So it's better if you go to the register to disclose page if you're not sure. So once you are on the portal, and I show you, in the demo how it looks like, but will it be only you as a person who needs to be onboarded, or do you need to onboard colleagues as well? So if you need to onboard colleagues as well, you don't have to ask us, CDP, you can do it yourself directly on myportal.cdp.net. And I show you where. Once this is done, there will be a few steps before you can open the questionnaire. So first thing will be to make sure that you view the screen as a disclosure. That's the word for reporting to, right? Then you will have to decide who among those portal users, so amongst you and your colleagues, is the person in charge of the submission. So the person who will click on submit my response at the end of the process. This is what we call the submission lead. So it's better, if you don't know, to have a quick consultation among your colleagues and decide. If you're alone, that's easy. Then you have to complete your questionnaire setup, and that means just answering a few questions, for example, on the pathway. And the pathway will determine the number of questions you will see. And then there is a last step before you can really start populating the questionnaire, is review your requests. By requests, we precisely mean the third-party organization who will access to your data. So that's ICLEI, but also which of those initiatives that Sumba presented will receive this data in particular, or are you interested in submitting to further partners as well? So that's the question you will have to address there. In terms of pathway, so we offer 3 pathways. Pathway 1 is, let's say, the easier one, the easiest one, because that's the one with the lowest number of questions. You see 28 questions. And we usually propose this pathway to small municipalities or with cities located in the global south, let's say, in general. So the 3 criteria are actually very much, say, mathematics. I will explain you after. But if you go to higher pathway, you will have more questions. Up to pathway 3, 45 questions. If you are a C40 city member, you don't have the choice. It's a pathway 3 question. If you are a member of some initiatives, for example, WWF, if you want to join, there will also be some additional question no matter the pathway you select. So actually, it's a recommendation, but you can still overrun CDP's suggestions. So we recommend you a pathway during the setup, depending on the emission per capita in your country. That's the first criteria. Then your city population, and then the Human Development Index of your country. Once again, this is let's say a national data here. So this will not have, say, an impact on the scoring, on your submission to the Global Covenant of Mayors or other reporting requirement, unless unless you, for example, the One Planet City Challenge is an important one to look at. There will be additional question. So the timeline, and then we are good to go with the demo. So September 17th is the scoring deadline this year. So if you are interested in a score, you only have 6 days left. If not, then you can still submit your question by the 19th of November. And if you if you're not sure that you will be able to share something publicly by that date, so let's mean that you are interested, you would like to complete the questionnaire, but you still don't know if you will get all the validation, the approval, the sign-off from your head of department or political decision making. You can then still decide to submit non-publicly. We don't recommend that, but it's a good start if you want to do so. So there are some reporting tactics to finish, which you can apply. So on the left-hand side, this is what we recommend. On the right-hand side, this is what you may do alternatively if you don't have the time, for example, or don't have all the data. So that's the case with the pathway selection. That's the first item here. So if you think that you can respond to 43 questions, go and select pathway 3. That's the most comprehensive of all of them. If you don't think you have so many answers, you can conservatively select a lower pathway. If you're not sure, just accept the pathway we recommend. Regarding completion methods, we suggest to make it as a team project. So to gather your best expert in your municipality. If you don't have the time, capacity to do that, you can respond to the questions within your remit and decide what to do with the other one. Maybe you can ask a colleague to contribute, to add response to the portal, or you can just see for next time. Regarding the timing, we recommend every year to submit by the scoring deadline because that's where you get most of your benefit. If not, then November. Regarding third-party submissions, so like, you will see besides ICLEI, there are potentially lots of other requesters, as we call them, that may be interested in your data, either because as a municipality, you are already a member of them, it's the mandatory ones, or you can join some of them. This is the optional ones. Then, feel free to do so. If you don't have the time, then just go for your mandatory requests and focus on the tag data points, because each requester can inform you, show you directly in the questionnaire which questions are of importance to them. And last but not least, as I said, we recommend the public submission. If you're not sure, you can still go with the non-public submission. However, you must be informed that if you submit non-publicly, you may lose many benefits, starting with your potential A score. So it automatically rejects you for eligibility to the A score, but also potentially to third-party submission. So that was the first part, and then happy to switch to the demo. If everyone's still here.
Yes, we're all still here. Thank you so much for the presentation so far. We do have a couple of questions that I thought I'd just bring in here now. So is the CDP-ICLEI track available in other languages?
Yeah, and yes, so I'm showing here, and in the same time answering to the question. You go to the settings, and in the settings you can select here the language in which you want to see the portal and see the questions of the questionnaire, here or here. There is currently, sorry?
No, I was wondering, specifically was asked about Turkish, so wondering if that's possible.
Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, Spanish. If one of your languages is not there, you can stay with English, but have the questionnaire translated through automatic, browser translators. And you can we accept submissions in other languages than those ones. That means you can answer in Turkish, but we don't recommend that because although CDP will be able to assess your data for scoring purposes, for example, we believe that the third-party users of the data will not be able to read Turkish. So it's better we recommend to use English, for example, as a response language.
Great. And one more question is, a participant was asking where they can see which path they're on. So maybe in the demo you could show that.
That's what I will show you now. So when you land on your portal on CDP-ICLEI Track, so you will see here the name of your city. You can change your organization detail. right? If you want, add the logo or everything. Go back home here through home. Make sure you are on the disclosure part. This is really important, not the requester part. So requester is when you request another organization to submit. You are not in this case. ICLEI is, but you are not. So disclosure. This is the part where you invite team members. So you can here invite colleagues by entering the email address. And when you do so, you already decide which roles they're going to have. For example, just a contributor, or can they be submission lead, for example, admin. You just disregard the requester role. As I said, it's not relevant. Here, since, so at the beginning, everyone will be contributors until someone accept the submission lead role. The person will receive an automatic email, and if the person clicks, they will automatically join the portal. So once you have your team in place, you can, for example, as it is written here in this blue banner, confirm the submission lead. So that's step 1. So that goes back here, right? And then set up the questionnaire. So here's the setup page. I confirm. It's probably blocked because, yeah, I'm not a submission lead yet. Sorry. So I have to accept. That's the step I didn't want to skip, sorry. Good, so now I'm the lead and I'm able to go back to home for the setup. It may take a minute because it has to load it as with a new role. Set up the questionnaire. Okay, so right. Here the pathway selection seems to have been done already. Sorry for that. It's because I'm using a fake account. Well, normally you will see a page where the pathway will be presented to you. So I'm sorry for that. I was not. I was intending to demo it, but it's not showing in my case. I have to be a real city. So in your case, you will see pathway selection. We will recommend you 1, 2, or 3. You just accept or reject and change, and then you will land on this page. The most important thing I wanted to show is the requests page here. So here you have 11 requests currently, and I'm conscious of time. I'm finished very soon to leave the space to Guimarães and Zaragoza. So here's the request page. On the left-hand side, the existing requests are the organizations we know you are member of. So you cannot opt out. So for example, here in this simulation, you are a C40 city. You are a Union of the Baltic City. You can click here on each arrow to have a short description of what it is in order to understand, right? But here on the, so like, for example, you are considered here in this simulation already a 100% renewable energy city. So that means that you will respond to this initiative.
Hi, David, is Anja.
Can someone mute? Sorry, thank you, the participant. Yeah, so, and then in the optional tab, these are the organizations or the initiatives you are not yet member of, but you could decide to join or at least to submit your data to by clicking here on join, right? I'm not going to do it because I don't want to show any unexpected page. But this is the case of raise to 0, for example. So here the city is not yet a member. They can join, and then they will the data will be shared. That's the case of Transformative Action Program, which was presented by Sumnal as well, and the Green Climate Cities. So here it's just one click, and you will be not automatically a member of that. Of course, you will have to complete probably some through an actual membership process with ICLEI. But at least we will consider from a CDP side that your data can be shared to Green Climate Cities. And then there is the questionnaire, and that's the last stage. So the questionnaire is quite intuitive. That's why there is not many things to say. You go block by block. So for example, in the climate risk and vulnerability assessment block, question 2.1 is, do you have a CRVA in place? Yes, no, it's a yes, no question. So it's quite intuitive, you see. If it's yes, then of course it will open 2.1.1, which is provide details on your climate risk and vulnerability assessment. So here it's a tabular questions by row, you see, matrix format. So each cell has to be completed. Sometimes there is a drop down like here. Sometimes it's just a free text. Here it would be the link, for example.
I'm just conscious of time, so
yes, last thing is I want to show is for each question we show you the tags of the ICLEI, and not only ICLEI, but all the initiatives that will use the data. So that's really useful for you to know and prioritize, for example, your response. And here's some guidance on the right-hand side. So that's lots of information, but I will stop here. Thank you for your attention, and really want to leave the rest of the time to the dear cities.
Great, thank you so much, Etienne, for giving us that deep dive into the why and how of the CDP-ICLEI track. I'd like to ask the city of Zaragoza to share their presentation and their insights as well. Just here. Want to make sure that they're there and that they're able to do that. They were having some technical issues at the beginning. Maybe perhaps while they sort out their technical issues, Francisco from Guimarães, you could start with the presentation.
Yep, I can jump in. Just give me a couple seconds so I
That's
can.
great. Thank you so much. And while Francisco sets up, I'll just also take this time to thank everyone again for joining this webinar. We really appreciate you taking the time during a precious lunch break to come join and listen and find out more about the CDP-ICLEI track. We have a lot of different cities represented here from both across Europe. We've got cities from Turkey and Ukraine, and yeah, across Western Europe as well. So thank you again, and I'll hand over to Francisco.
Yeah, so you're able to see my screen. I'll take that as yes, because I can see your faces right now. So I'll take that as an yes. Yeah. So my name is Francisco. As it was mentioned before, I'm here representing the city of Guimarães, and how it has been for us this pathway of using the CDP-ICLEI track for also developing our green transition in the city. So just a quick note on where is Guimarães located, and a little bit of the history of Guimarães. So we are a city located in the northwestern part of Portugal. We are a small, medium-sized city with 150,000 inhabitants and 240 square kilometers. We are recognized for being the cradle of Portugal, where Portugal was born as a country. So we have a lot of historical buildings, historical heritage, and cultural heritage is very important to us. And as you can see here in the picture, so the city center of Guimarães is is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Beautiful recognition of our city with a lot of old buildings, but also in 2013, after the recognition of World Heritage, of being a UNESCO World Heritage Site, of being European Capital of Culture in 2012, and City of Sports in 2013. In 2013, there was a political vision of having Guimarães in the future as a more sustainable city as well. So how can we keep our past, but also transform the city for the future, so we can have a better city and better adapted city for the future. So we started this pathway of the green transition in 2013. That was the first environmental diagnosis of the city that was done before by a local university. But there was a clear vision of the municipality to have a strong governance ecosystem in Guimarães that could help the city to monitor and to track the developments of the city, try to set up some goals, and also try to keep that track over time, so we could adjust and align our goals, and also enhance our performance in terms of how to achieve our goals. So so we've been trying also and applying to be European Green Capital. The first application started in 2017. And in after 3 attempts, we were able to achieve to be European Green Capital. So Guimarães will be European Green Capital next year, 2026, and is one of the cities with a mission label to be climate neutral by 2030. So I'm just showing this because reporting to the CDP-ICLEI was also a very important part of our progress in developing tools and mechanisms of monitoring our performance, set up clear plans in terms of mitigation and adaptation for the city. And this was very important in achieving this goal. So Guimarães as a climate as one of the cities that want to achieve climate neutrality goals by 2030, as also a long-term vision of being a one planet city by 2050. And to achieve this, we know that we need to work in multiple pillars. That means that we need to work at the governance level, we need to work at the research and development level, and enhancing the connectivity with citizens, enhancing the connectivity of citizens with nature, and working to have a more livable and healthy city. So why do we report to CDP ICLEI Track? So this is an international disclosure framework. It was well presented so far by Etienne as well. It is used by cities worldwide, so it is good for you to do this benchmarking of the developments at the European, but also at the global level. Of course, there's the data report system as was mentioned before. It can be a little bit more work in the first time, but then you have a track of data that you can use to add on your developments in the future. So you have this data report. Once it can be used for multiple frameworks, of course, so it enhances your efficiency gain, and of course it brings you recognition and inclusion in global benchmark, includes your visibility in climate leadership initiatives, and opens you some opportunities in terms of new projects and networks that can also capture some financing for development in the city. So in terms of our achievements, we've been reporting since the very beginning, we are luckily included in the A list, which demonstrates also this pathway of transition in Guimarães, in leadership, in action, and also in our goal to have more transparency in how we collect data, what frameworks we are using to collect data, and develop that data back to citizens, for example, so they can see how city is changing through time. And we've reported more than 30 environmental initiatives. We've been having a lot of them related with the multiple subjects that were also mentioned here before, which means the mitigation and adaptation efforts and all the sub-criteria that are inserted in themes that are included on that. For us, Guimarães, it was the way that we set it up, this ecosystem to help us to monitor and track our performance for CDP-ICLEI. It's related with our 2030 governance ecosystem. That started with the city government, of course, with the creation of the climate transition team. That also benefits from the creation of this institution that's called the Landscape Laboratory. It's both an applied research and education institution that connects the city government with academia, with citizens, but also with the public sector and the private sector, so we can have this way to bring together our contribution for the green transition. And this mission structure is also very important, and the climate transition team is very important in gathering the data, having this data integrated system, so we can also report not for CDP-ICLEI and have this integrated data also to track our performance through time. So as I was mentioning, the creation of Landscape Laboratory that was created in 2014 was also very important to have this center of integration. The core role of the lab is also to coordinate the data, the reporting, the project follow-up, to develop new projects, innovative projects for the city, to be applied in the territory to transform the territory, but also to include citizens and their vision on this transformation, to ensure, of course, alignment with sustainability strategies and climate neutrality goals at the local, European, and global level as well, to act as this bridge between departments, and also that is very important, I would say, to report to this reporting system, because you need to have a team that needs to be multidisciplinary to report the data that is needed, and also to provide this capacity building internally to have a capable team to work on this developments. So this was good also for us to integrate our multiple planning and actions into this integrated management system. So the way the CDP-ICLEI Track questionnaire also helped us to structure the alignment between different plannings, and how can we integrate these different plannings while trying to have this common transition goal. And this is very important if you want to integrate this multidisciplinary team working with the same vision towards the same direction. And this is good because while you are doing this data integration, you make the reporting system a little bit more easy. As Etienne was showing before, so you can this is just not a one-man job or a one-woman job. You can integrate and invite different team members, and that's the way that we do it here in Guimarães. By now, for example, 4 people are responsible to collect data, one more related with mitigation, the other one more related with adaptation, and two persons, the general coordinator of the climate transition, the governance, the mission structure, Guimarães 2030, and also me here at the Landscape Lab to integrate the multiple actions to report to this platform. And there's also this integration of data with the requests that Etienne was mentioning before, which is good because if you are reporting to different frameworks, you can have this integrated system at the CDP-ICLEI tracking that can support your report for this to these requesters. So this means that by using CDP-ICLEI track and the questionnaires, we are working also smarter, faster, and swifter, which help us as to integrate our multidisciplinary team in the municipality with the Landscape Laboratory, but also to be a little bit more transparent while giving back this feedback on our performance through time to our citizens, and open new opportunities for collaboration and projects in the future. So I tried to be as fast as I could. If you have any question, I would suggest you to visit our Guimarães 2030 website, and I'll be able to respond to any questions that you have now, or feel free to contact me by email later on. And that's it from my side. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Francisco. That was great insight into how Guimarães what their reporting journey has been, and how you've been able to use how it's been able to inform your city planning. I'd like to now see if Monse is there from the city of Zaragoza. I believe she's online, but I don't know if you can hear or hear me.
Finally, we can connect.
Great.
Perfect. Yes.
Perfect. Are you able to share your screen and present?
I try to do it.
Okay, otherwise I also have your presentation, so I can also do it otherwise.
Okay.
And also, if you have any question for Francisco, please in the chat at the moment or now until we put the other slides. If not, Francisco, I think that during after and the follow-up of this webinar, we will be sure that there will be some questions. I have one question, Francisco, if you allow me. How you are structuring the response? Is this your responsibility? How many people work on filling the CDP-ICLEI questionnaire in Guimarães?
Yeah, so right now, four of us are involved in that. I'm me personally, also the general coordinator of the Guimarães 2030 mission structure, and two colleagues from the municipality, one that is the responsible for the mitigation building block, and the other one from the adaptation building block. So we are four of us together reporting right now. And we are almost there in terms of the report submission. Yeah, the deadline. Yes.
Excellent. Francisco, and one thing also that we always discuss with our citizens is that the first time you do it is the more long, but then the other years is easier. No, can you tell us a little about this experience?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The first one, it can be a little bit trickier because I mean you need to collect a little bit more data. You are starting it for the first time, but the way that it is working now, I would say it's quite easy. I mean, it's not easy. You need to go through the questionnaire again. It doesn't. So the one thing that I think Etienne mentioned is that the questionnaire is dynamic, which means that you should also look to your performance in the past, and you want to increment new actions and new activities, and also to track your performance in terms of the indicators that you are responding. So it's good because you can have this opportunity to increment data without losing all the work that you did before. And it's true that the first time it can be a little bit more heavy work, but then when you are inside of the model, it is easier in the following years, and also makes you think about what we need to bring as innovative this year to increment our performance through time. So it makes you feel dynamic also and looking for our goals. Yeah.
Excellent, Francisco. Thank you very much. So now we go from Portugal to Spain.
Hello. Okay, you can see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so we start. My name is Monse. I am the head of the Environment, Climate Action and Public Health Office in the City Council of Zaragoza, and she is Marisa Campillos. She is a part of our team, our climate team. So Zaragoza is in Spain. I know you can better, because Zaragoza is in the middle of Madrid and Barcelona in the northeast of Spain. We are also a medium city with 700,000 inhabitants in this moment. So as Francisco says and explained before, we are also involved in several initiatives and actions on climate environment objectives. So we are also one of the 100 cities of the European Cities Mission since 2022. But also here in Zaragoza, we are working a long time ago in environment action. So we are part of several initiatives like Covenant of Mayors, like Eurocities, ICLEI also, we are members of ICLEI, but also we start to send our data and to share our data with CDP in 2013. And also we report every year since this data. And we want to give an overview of this CDP tool, what means CDP for us, and how CDP track help us to manage our environment work. So CDP allow us to report our environmental data and climate action, and provide us a tool to measure and track the progress in several areas like emissions mitigation, adaptation, energy, transport, or waste. So for us to report every year to this CDP track questionnaire allow us to think about our management in the city. How is our state and how can we improve our manage? So for us, we need to say that for us it's an effort to do the questionnaire because it needs a coordinate system inside the city council because we need to report different kind of data from other departments. We here in this environment department, we are direct manage the quality air, the noise, the green in the city, but there are another kind of data that depends of other departments. So this is our first challenge, to coordinate our work here in the city council, and this is a huge challenge. But also we need to connect with the stakeholders of the city because the data, this is not only for a municipal data. We need the private sector and other stakeholders, and we need to exchange with them and to coordinate with them the data because we need to have a view and overview state of the city. So for us, CDP track and this tool allow us to collect all the data and to give us information to improve our manage to obtain our objectives. In this moment, our main objective is to achieve the neutral climate state by 2030. And all the data we use in the CDP track help us to give an information about our action in this neutral objective. So because in our city climate contract, in the context of the European mission, we are working in the several areas that CDP questionnaire give us information. So we have the pillars of the climate contract are also the same parts of the questionnaire, like waste, like sustainability mobility, or green in the city. So we connect the different municipal policies with the questionnaire and with the climate objectives. So for us, it's an opportunity to every year to think about our management and to connect with other departments, other stakeholders, and have an overview of our city. So we need to say another time that it's an effort to do this CDP track, but we have the opportunity to give the CDP to us our CDP score. We have the A CDP score, is a high score for the questionnaire. So we are very proud of this, and this is a motivation to continue our work in the climate action. So I think that this CDP report give us opportunity to improve and also to achieve the climate and environment objectives. But also, I think that this is more than a data questionnaire. This is, as Etienne says before, we are putting our roadmap with the key projects of the city where we can work in these next years to connect with the goals of the European goals to obtain finance, because the opportunity to give or to have in this moment all the data in the questionnaire it's easier for us to participate in different European calls. Because for example, in the climate calls in the Europe horizon in this moment, a lot of data we use in these calls, we have the data before in this questionnaire. So this is easier for us to participate in the calls with the data of the questionnaire. So for us, the CDP track allow us to improve our governance model, and this is important. This is important because it's very difficult day by day to connect and to be coordinated with all the stakeholders. It's difficult to collect the data, and well, this is an opportunity and this is an effort that is necessary to continue our management of the city. And also, this is a model of governance is a key part also of our climate city contract. So this is an important part of our map road in this moment, the governance and to coordinate the data. The data it's the main important part of our work. And also it's an opportunity to be part of the calls, the European calls, to obtain finance for our projects. And also for us, this platform is an opportunity to exchange and to share our knowledge, but also to learn with other cities to do this green transition. We have from to 2030, 4 years. So we need to do this transition quickly, and we think that the key is to learn with other cities to go fast. So this is a brief for us. The CDP track, the CDP platform help us to improve our management, help us to think what are the next steps to do our objectives, to achieve our objectives. And it's a key for us, a key tool that are connected with the other platforms and initiatives that we are integrated, like Covenant of Mayors, like the European Mission, that have also a platform with data, and we can use the same data in the different platforms. So for us is help us to do this work, because when you are involved in several plans, in several strategies, in several platforms, the way to obtain the objectives is to summarize and to minimize the effort to collect all this data. So for us, this is our experience with CDP from more or less more than 10 years. And also for us, it's a motivation to obtain every year from 2 or 3 years ago the maximum score of the CDP questionnaire. So for us, it's a motivation, and we are very proud for us and for be part of this initiative and this platform. So this is all from Zaragoza.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing also your experience and insights. Now I'd like to open the floor to questions, both for Zaragoza or Guimarães or to Etienne from CDP, or for us here at ICLEI. Any questions that you might have, we would be more than happy to answer in the last few minutes that we have together.
I have one question. This is Daniela from ICLEI Montserrat. Always we have our members, when they are starting the journey, is the same question that I did to Francisco. How many people in the Ayuntamiento of Zaragoza are involved in filling the questionnaire every year? Not to scare our cities, but to motivate them.
Well, I can say you that I think that it's in general the local governments we have a problem with the resources, human resources. So you have the main team of the CDP here, Marisa and me.
Champions.
But I need to say that we have the collaboration of the other departments with our colleagues. We don't have problems. And also we need to say that we are support and technical assistance with a foundation called CIRCE that help us to do this questionnaire in concrete. And also I need to say that we have a model of governance that the private sector help us to.
Excellent.
So yes, we need to improve. We need to do and improve in the model of governance. But in this moment, all the stakeholders, public stakeholders and private stakeholders, are working together in these climate objectives in Zaragoza.
Excellent.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or thoughts, maybe comments that you would like to share?
I may jump in then. First of all, to thank Francesco and Montserrat for their very nice words about their experience of reporting at CDP. Really, we on CDP-ICLEI Track, the goal is to not burden you with reporting. We know that you guys have more important things to do in your municipality and your resources are limited. So this is really important for us to seek every solutions to minimize reporting burden. However, there is a phenomenon which happens is like you join projects outside of ICLEI or inside ICLEI, and then, you know, consortium, horizon project, pilot project, you are on board for 4 years and so on. And one of the results of the project is to develop a new set of indicators, a new reporting framework. And here's the risk that this project may create a new system apart from CDP-ICLEI Track. That's perhaps a recommendation on our side to suggest to the project consortium, whoever they are, that they may look into the questionnaire, the CDP questionnaire that already exists, because the data points may already be covered. Then it's better in everyone's interest to perhaps reuse it, because you may already participate to it every year. You may complete and take some time to do it. So then it's a one stone, two bird thing, if we can say so. So then, yeah, that's I would say the recommendation to you all. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you also for that, Etienne. I will maybe use this as the closing words then for this webinar. Unless there are any questions, I'll just ask one more time. But otherwise, I would very much like to thank the participants. Thank you all for joining. And also, of course, to the presenters. It was really good to hear your experience from Guimarães and Zaragoza. And yeah, if you have any questions or would like follow up, then we're available at ICLEI as well as at CDP to help you either start reporting, or if you've already started reporting, to help you continue with that journey. But yeah, thank you again for joining. And yeah, I'll leave you all to have some lunch now.
We will share the...
And we will, of course, share the slides and yeah, via email. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Yasmina.
Thank you.
Good luck, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.